Good morning. Ben Dodd here from Brisbane Upper GI Surgery. Today I'd like to talk to you about how we together can guarantee your weight loss success. When I see weight loss surgery patients, I see my job as discussing with them the surgical options and then performing an operation safely. But I think one of the biggest things that I'm really trying to achieve is empowering patients to exist as a lean person in our modern, very obesity-provoking world. Some sources who work within the bariatric industry would consider that this is impossible, but like I say to my children, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are correct. So let's work out how we can restore our life force by becoming lean, using bariatric surgery as a tool to kickstart that process and empower you as the patient, to exist as a lean person in our very obesity-provoking world, which is not easy. So I think for patients, the biggest thing is to work out why you're having bariatric surgery. Now, it's not my opinion, but it's unfortunately the facts of the world we live in, that if you're significantly overweight, particularly with the BMI over 35, with medical problems, then you are staring down the potential for not only reduced life expectancy because of major medical problems, but also by having your quality of life significantly reduced. And the problem with weight gain, whether it's to the tune of BMI of 30, 32, 40, 50, is that weight gain is very insidious and it happens gradually over years. And it's not generally from people eating cheeseburgers for breakfast, lunch and dinner. It's just because they're getting a few too many calories day after day. So it creeps up on them. So you need to be, I think, as a patient, ready to make some changes and just work out exactly why you're having weight loss surgery. It's not just getting a haircut. It is a major life event, albeit a very safe one, but a major life event that if executed properly, it really will restore you down to a very healthy BMI and therefore improve your life expectancy back up to sort of 85 to 90 years of age, and also just dramatically improve your quality of life and avoid or reverse what was otherwise going to be a very, very much medicalized life as you age with that extra weight on. So I think motivation and working out, our human brains hate losing things more than they like gaining things, and so you're using that motivation of loss of life quality, loss of life expectancy, and loss of simple time with family and friends and loved ones as the main motivation for doing this. I think the second concept in this weight loss success plan is to have just that, is to make a plan. And I think hope is not a plan. To get from a BMI that is elevated with medical problems back down to a healthy BMI really what does take a plan. And beginning here is about having a goal. So normally we would aim for a BMI of 25. Some people think that's too far. Some males, particularly with very big bones and muscle mass, are probably never going to get to a BMI of 25. But you've got to work out what weight you're trying to achieve, and thereafter you can make a plan about how you're going to get there. Weight loss, as I've stated in other videos, is a process, and the first part of that process is the emotion. It is an emotional plunge for patients. And I think it's very important that weight loss patients do not feel judged or shamed. Fate has brought you to this point where you are overweight and you have medical problems or at a very high risk of medical problems that will shorten your life expectancy. The way of dealing with that is simply accepting that you can't change what happened yesterday or worry too much about what's going to happen tomorrow. All you can do is control how you can exist in the moment to try and exist like a lean person in the modern world. And that comes down 95% to what we eat. It's a difficult thing to do. It can be stressful, but the key here, I think, is to accept that you're in this situation and to take all the emotion out of it, accept that it is a challenge, but a challenge that you're going to lean into and that you must do and that you are, without doubt, going to succeed at. So that emotional element is a difficult thing. The solution, I think, once you have a goal, is to work out the process that is going to get you there. And people who win and lose at anything in life, weight loss, sport, any major goal, it's not the goal that separates them, because no one starts out wishing to lose. It's the process that gets them to that point that separates the two, as in the winners and the losers. So the process that is going to get you to become a lean person following the surgery is to accept the surgery as it is, a tool to help you adapt back towards eating habits that will ensure that you get all of your weight off all the way down forever, which comes down 95% to what we eat. Breaking that down with the help of your dietitian, clearly you're going from someone who is, for your current body state, eating too much of the wrong food too often, and that then becomes less of the right food less often. And there's different ways you can do that, but I personally think it should not be about huge amounts of change, because huge amounts of dietary change are not sustainable. It's about making little sensible 1% restrictions here and there and everywhere that over time, like compound interest, adds up to a very large amount of weight. Whilst I've stated that I think diet is very, very central to all this, it's not just the modern dysfunctional food environment that is making people overweight. It's the fact that our human bodies have been designed to exist in a very different world thousands of years ago, and bad food options are a very big part of it, but so too is lack of sleep and lack of outdoors and sunlight and fresh air and too many screens. So trying to restore your caveman or cavewoman roots in those simple ways, I think, is a great adjunct in terms of adding to the diet change that will ensure your optimal and durable weight loss outcomes. Habit change is very, very hard, and it doesn't just happen. It requires sustained mental effort, and I think everyone is running around with their mental capacity or bandwidth saturated to transition from an overweight patient through surgery back to a lean patient, a lean person who can live to a ripe old age. That requires an acceptance that to exist as a lean person, we have to spend more time thinking about what we can do to be lean. And that is, as I say, simple lifestyle measures and then eating. But I think reducing temptation is a big challenge here. People who make good decisions in life don't have any better willpower, but the way they are able to do that is they remove the temptation. So not having bad foods in the house, not going down in the bad aisles of Woolworths, just accepting that you're not going to have Uber Eats on your phone and you're not going to eat takeaway more than once every 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. Those sorts of things, removing the temptation is a very key part to making good food choices. So these are the measures I think that will ensure that your weight loss outcomes are both optimal and long lasting. I look forward to clarifying any questions you may have when I meet you in person. Thanks for your time.